Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. One of Chicago Fire's most hated characters may return in Season 13. Chicago Fire has a lot of storylines going at once. There are big things happening for Stella Kidd, Miranda Ray Mayo, and Kelly Severide, Taylor Kinney. The same way things are happening for our favorite crossover couple, Mouch, Christian Stolt, and Platt, Amy Morton. While all these characters are looking to the future, however, Violet McCamey, Hanako Greensmith, will be forced to deal with the foe from her past. The logline for Chicago Fire's next episode, Born of Fire, confirms that the character will be getting a visit from someone she has a very checkered past with, and we think we know who it is. Violet's former nemesis returns, pleading for her help. The official synopsis reads, "Here's the thing. Violet does not have many enemies. She's widely liked by superiors and peers, and she's even had good relationship with former co-workers that she's been romantically involved with. Which leads us to believe that Chicago Fire is bringing back Emma Jacobs, Caitlin Carver. The medic really came in hot during her debut in Season 10. She tried to work her way up the ranks and make her superior, Violet, seem like she wasn't equipped for the job. When that didn't work, she tried to blackmail Violet and her late boyfriend, Evan Hawkins, Jimmy Nicholas, into giving her a better gig. Fortunately, things backfired and Violet was booted from the firehouse. Unfortunately for Violet, she has not gone away for good. Jacobs has resurfaced. She returned in Season 11 as an investigator in CFD's IAD. She looked into a complaint against Sam Carver, Jake Lockett, another person Violet has been romantic with, when the firefighter saved a man on a bike. Things went relatively smooth, but Jacobs made it clear to Violet that she was not through with her. She threatened Violet, which again backfired when the medic found a recording of Hawkins detailing Jacobs' aforementioned blackmail scheme. Jacobs was subsequently fired from her job with IAD. The last we heard, she wasn't working with the Chicago Fire Department in any capacity. It would be fascinating, albeit suspicious, if she returned to ask Violet's help. We know Jacobs is manipulative, and we know Violet is onto her, but at the same time, Violet has a good heart and may be tempted to take a leap of faith. The guilt from getting her fired might also be a factor here. It's possible that Chicago Fire is teasing another character's return, but we feel confident that it's going to be Jacobs. Firehouse 51 has seen its share of heroes, tragedies, and shocking moments over the years, but nothing stirs the embers of fan debate quite like the return of a character who left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. As Chicago Fire prepares for its 13th season, whispers are growing louder that one of the show's most hated characters may be making an unexpected return. The speculation began when showrunner Andrew Newman teased in a recent interview that a controversial figure from Firehouse 51's past could be making waves once again. While she remained tight-lipped about the specifics, fans have wasted no time in putting the pieces together. Could it be Jerry Gorsh, the bureaucratic thorn in Bowden's side, or perhaps Detective Hank Foyt, whose methods have long divided the Chicago Fire universe? Some even suspect a shocking comeback for Hope Jacquinot, Sylvie Brett's former friend-turned-enemy. But one name stands above the rest in terms of sheer fan disdain: Chief Carl Grissom. Grissom, played by Gary Cole, was a major antagonist in Seasons 6 and 7, using his high-ranking position to manipulate and undermine Bowden's leadership. His relentless self-interest, blatant favoritism, and shady politicking made him an enemy not just to Bowden, but to Firehouse 51 as a whole. Fans cheered when he was finally exposed, and many assumed that was the last they would see of him. However, recent rumors suggest otherwise. So if Grissom is truly coming back, what does this mean for Firehouse 51? One theory making the rounds is that Grissom's return could spell trouble for Bowden, who had steadily climbed the ranks in the CFD hierarchy. Could Grissom, always scheming, be looking to reclaim power or exact revenge on the people who brought him down? His influence within the department, despite his tarnished reputation, might allow him to cause headaches for the entire team. Another possibility is that Grissom returns in a surprising way, not as a direct antagonist, but as someone seeking redemption. Chicago Fire has always excelled at complex character arcs, and while it's hard to imagine a man like Grissom turning over a new leaf, the show has pulled off more improbable transformations before. If he were to return, claiming to have changed, would Bowden and the team believe him? And more importantly, would the fans? Of course, there's always the chance that his return is linked to a larger crisis within the CFD. If there's one thing Firehouse 51 has learned over the years, it's that the higher-ups don't always have their best interests at heart. Could Grissom's return signal another major shakeup in the department, one that forces Bowden and his team to fight harder than ever to protect their Firehouse? Fans have taken to social media with a mix of dread and excitement over the possibility. Many remember Grissom as one of the most frustrating villains the show has ever seen, a man whose self-serving actions almost cost Bowden his job on multiple occasions. But others are intrigued by what his return could bring. Love him or hate him, there's no denying that Grissom made for compelling drama. Then there's the question of how the rest of the Firehouse 51 team will react. Kelly Severide has never been one to mince words when dealing with corrupt leadership, and his long-standing history with Grissom adds another layer of tension. Would Severide confront him head-on? Would Stella Kidd, now a lieutenant in her own right, have to navigate a political minefield if Grissom tried to pull rank? And how would newer members of the team, like Carver and Violet, react to a man whose history with Firehouse 51 predates them? There's also a chance that Grissom's return is merely a brief cameo, a reminder of the political pressures that have always loomed over Chicago's firehouses. But knowing Chicago Fire, if they're bringing back a character as polarizing as Grissom, it's unlikely to be for a small storyline. Whether his return is as an enemy, an ally, or something in between, one thing is certain: Firehouse 51 is in for a wild ride in Season 13, and if history has taught us anything, it's that when it comes to Chicago Fire, the past never stays buried for long. Season 13 is shaping up to be one of the most intense yet, and if Grissom, or another equally reviled character, truly is returning, Firehouse 51 will need to be ready for whatever challenges come their way. The fans, meanwhile, will be watching closely, waiting to see if old wounds will be reopened, or if a new chapter in Firehouse 51's history is about to begin.